Hi everyone, welcome to episode 3 of the Milk Thistle podcast. My name is Kate. I'm coming to you from the east coast of Australia. You can find me on Instagram as Milk Thistle Fiber Arts. There is also a Ravelry group, which is Milk Thistle podcast. So if you would like to get in contact, come through either of those channels. This is a podcast basically about knitting, but other fiber related goodness when it pops up. There is a little sewing and basically nerding out over project bags this week, as that seems to have been a common theme since I last podcasted. I have gone from owning 1 project bag to 4, and actually, I may as well just keep talking about them, seeing as I'm chatting about them now. My original project bag, which I adore, is a Fringe Supply Co. field bag in the caramel color. And I love these things. They're great. They're not too huge that you can't take them with you, and they're not too small that you can't fit a decent sized project in there. At the moment, I have 2 sets of socks going in this particular bag, and so knowing my obsession with this bag and knowing how many projects I had on the go, my mum very kindly this week purchased me a second field bag. If I'm not the most spoiled girl in the world, I don't know who is. It's beautiful. It's in this really gorgeous bright blue. I am mildly obsessed. Blue is definitely my favorite color at the moment. And so I'm so excited to have another one of these. They are super sturdy and they have great compartments on the inside where you can keep pens and crochet hooks. There's small pouches. There's a large pouch which has 3 eyelets in it. So if you're running, if you're using it to work on a color work project or something with multiple skeins, or even just one skein or cake or ball, whatever, and you don't want it to get all tangled, you can run it through there. It's super neat. I love the pull string on the top. I can't say I have used, I think I had 1 zippered project bag a long time ago, and I didn't like that the wool, if you were working straight from it, I couldn't fold that particular one back. So the wool would get caught or run over the zipper, and I didn't like that. Obviously there's no zipper with the pull string, and I'm just a fan. I do like the style of zippered bags though, where you can actually fold them back, because I use my project bags as yarn bowls a lot of the time. I do have some beautiful yarn bowls, but they're in storage in the States at the moment, so I haven't been able to use them in a while, unfortunately. But I have been using my project bags as yarn bowls, so I really like the pull closure, but I mean, it's just at the moment. Like, blue's my favorite color at the moment. Ask me next week, it'll change. I think I'm in a pink mood today. I got pink lips, pink nails. Ooh, it's a lot of pink. I'm not normally a pink girl. So in that one gift from my mum, my project bag collection doubled. But once I had 2 project bags and was like, oh, this is fun, I can be more organized. I love having all my pretty yarny stuff organized. So I went down to my local kind of fabric craft store and found some cute fabrics that I liked. I don't know where my sewing machine is at the moment. It's in storage somewhere. So I was stitching by hand, which I kind of like. I think there's something really beautiful about using your hands to make a project from start to finish. Obviously that's what we do when we knit or crochet, and while I am not devaluing the importance of a sewing machine, and I would love to be able to pump out a whole bunch more of these bags quickly, I kind of like that I have a few now that I have made myself with just a needle and thread and like a lot of hours. But so I started with this one, and it's quite large. It's definitely a jumper size or a sweater size. Once again, it has the pull closure. I just used some cute cream ribbon, and I didn't use a pattern for these. I kind of lay down the fabric and went, okay, this is about how big I want it, this is about how wide the seams are going to be, and then I just started cutting and sewed it up and hope for the best. And I think it turned out pretty cool. If you guys follow me on Instagram, you will have already seen this bag, but I will show you. It's got some piping running down the side that is the navy from the lining, and I really liked, you know, having that detail down the side, and so I chose to feature it in the base as well. So rather than having all the corners to form the base turned in between the lining and the outside fabric, I chose to make it a feature. So the piping runs the whole way down and around, and you have these beautiful little triangles with these tiny little feet almost that run down to the base, and it's kind of hard to see because it is such a patterned fabric, but yeah, it's beautiful. Of course it's blue because blue's my color apparently. This is just an open bag. I didn't put any pockets in it. I may put some in at a later date, but for the moment it's just a big old sack, and my current plan is to make a matching little pouch to keep inside it, because I do have more of this fabric left over, and so rather than having a pocket there will be a matching pouch, but that's kind of on hold at the moment because I don't need one currently for what's in there, so I'm pretty happy with that one. So when I made this one, it is giant and not very handbag sized. So I made another one that is more handbag sized. He's just little. He's very crinkled because, like I said, he was designed to go in a handbag, and so in a handbag he has been. If you open him up, he kind of goes down super tiny. But exactly the same construction. He has, this project bag has the same, you know, wool falling out, same navy interior, and I have that coming out through the piping down the side. This one actually got a super beautiful deep navy blue. I mean, I'm sure you can't see that it's velvet, but it's velvet. So it's really lovely to kind of play with when he's all pulled in. You can, you know, I love velvet. I love the texture of it. Yeah, this one does have a pocket inside, which, I mean, always a bonus. It's a very simple little pocket. It doesn't have anything fancy. It's just there. It's holding a pair of scissors. But yeah, so basically this has been, actually it's been 2 weeks since I put out a podcast, but it has been a fortnight full of project bags. Where I had 1, I now have 4, and I am so happy, and everything is so much more organized, And I should probably get on to the knitting part, seeing as this is a predominantly, apparently, knitting podcast. So I will show you what is in my beautiful project bags. Where to start? Well, let's start with the original. My Fringe Supply Co. field bag in the caramel, who I love, has become my sock bag. It currently is housing 2 pairs of socks. I will show you one because I have finished one of my mom's bubble socks. So I showed you this last time, and I think I was about up to this blue stripe. So it's not really that much of an achievement that I finished it because it's, you know, a toe, essentially. But, you know, small achievements are still achievements. And this is my only finished, and it's only half finished, object at the moment. I haven't cast on the next sock because I decided to use those needles for another project. I don't know if you know, but Father's Day in Australia is the first Sunday in September, meaning this coming Sunday. It is currently Wednesday? Thursday. I think it's Thursday the 1st of September today. I could be wrong. I'm not very good with dates or days, apparently. I know I have no appointments today. Maybe that means it's Thursday? Who knows? Sorry. But yeah, so I was using 2mm Addy Turbo sock rockets for this sock, and they have been commandeered by Dad's sock. But this wool is Knit Picks Felici in the bubble color for the stripes, and the contrasting heels, toes, and cuffs are in Knit Picks Stroll in the rouge color. So yeah, next week, after Sunday, when Dad's socks are done, I'll get back to Mum's socks. But in the meantime, I've got one, and not even a cast on for the next one. So I'm kind of trying to keep it prominent in my mind so I don't cast on other things and then forget about them, and then a week before Christmas go, ooh, crumbs. Those were meant to be for Mum. But yeah. The other socks I have in here are just the socks I'm making for my boyfriend that I haven't touched. I think I did like 1/2 inch while I was watching Ghostbusters the other day in the cinema. First time cinema knitting, dropped a whole bunch of stitches, ripped it back. Apparently I'm not good enough to knit without looking in a dark cinema yet. I can knit without looking mid-row, but the first stitch, I always have to look, and that was where all my problems were. So I think I'm going to practice that. But yeah, so there's nothing to show. There was something to show, and then I pulled it out, so there's nothing to show. Those socks, I swear, they just like being pulled out. Sorry, tea. This is the Power of Cake cup. Cake has magical powers. Magical powers. So does tea. Tea and cake with a cake mug. Could life get much better? I'm drinking Twinings English breakfast tea with unsweetened almond milk. It is the tea I drink all day long. It never really changes. I don't really go in for herbal teas. I did when I was in the States recently. Maybe I'd just been there too long and was getting, you know, acclimatized. What's the word? I don't know. Indoctrinated by your ways. I'm not sure. But it was so hot, and I was driving across the country with my boyfriend with no air conditioning, and all I wanted was those like sickeningly large iced teas from Starbucks. And they're so sweet. They like do it by pumps, and for the large ones they normally put like 7 or 8 pumps. I'm like, can I have 2 please? Because I have a sweet tooth, but not that much of a sweet tooth. But I did start drinking very sweet, fruity iced teas in the middle of summer. Maybe. Summer's on its way in Australia, so we'll see if I slip back into that. But for the moment, it's Twinings, it's English breakfast, and it always has milk in it. It's just how I like it. Bit boring, but sorry. Tangent. Seeing as I was chatting about where my Addy Turbo sock rockets went, I will show you. In my tiny, made by me, I feel like it's almost a floral pattern. It's an abstract floral. And on this side, it's quite bright with the pink and the kind of tealy blue greens. And then on the back, it's much more muted, and it's got burgundies and mauve, and it still has the green, but it's much more of like a, I want to say swamp green, but I don't mean that in a bad way. Like, but yeah. Maybe like succulent desert green would be a nicer way to describe it. Because it's not khaki. But anyway, I do like that this bag has two personalities. One more muted and sullen, maybe. The other one vibrant and bubbly. Because don't we all have both those sides? Anyway, Dad's sock is being knit on wool that I got from the Wool Barn, which is out of England. I'm sorry, I don't know which bit of England, but I'm in love, and I have been stalking that store for such a long time, but haven't had an excuse. And finally I was like, well, what do you need an excuse for? Just buy the pretty things and something will pop up. So I bought the pretty things and something popped up, and now Dad is getting an amazing pair of socks for Father's Day. So here is, so it's Thursday. I think we're going to go with Thursday. It's Thursday and Father's Day is Sunday, and this is the first sock. I mean, it's basically done. I need an inch and then a toe. But I really need to stop playing with the other things that I've been playing with and focus on this, or it's not going to get done. But less about my procrastination, more about this beautiful wool. So the heels, toes, and cuffs are in this spectacular tweedy blue. Now, I have never knit with, no, that's a lie, I have knit with a tweed wool before. It was a Regia, and it was quite rustic, as Regia wool is. And while I did enjoy working with it, this is like silky soft. I will put down here, I don't have the ball bands on me, but I will magically make it appear what it is made of. I would not be surprised if there was some cashmere in it, because it is just silky smooth. I would love to make a cardigan or a jumper, sweater, same thing, out of, there's kind of this gorgeous champagne color in the tweed. I'm yet to find a pattern. When I do, I will be ordering up a whole bunch of this because it is so soft and lovely. The main body of the sock is in a color that is called Graphite, and it is a tonal dark gray. There are a couple of splodges of black, but I would call it a tonal dark gray, and they have just occasionally these little flecks of rust, like, and by little flecks I mean like one stitch every 10 rows, but it just adds a beautiful depth to the color. It also kind of mimics the tweed. I did a fish lips kiss heel, which the tweed has ever so slight speckles of brown, not only in the tweed flecks but also in the dye. I could not have asked for a better pair, basically. I'm really happy with how this is turning out. So these are my 2mm Addy Turbo sock rockets, which hopefully will be freed up on Sunday for my mum's socks. the bright pink ones. How, like, gender traditional could I get? I'm doing blue for my dad and pink for my mom. It's terrible. Oh well. Maybe I'll make dad pink socks next time. He wears pink. Actually, he rocks pink. He has these like beautiful suit shirts in like pale pinks and peaches, and I don't know how, I can't pull off those colors, but he looks very sharp in them. My dad's very fashionable. So sorry, I'm in a strange mood today. It has been rainy and dreary for days, and I get very affected by the weather. And the sun is out today, and it is beautiful, and I'm in a much, much happier mood. I don't know how I'd go living somewhere with terrible weather. And in saying that, I've lived in, you know, mountainous areas. That's kind of my happy place. I like living in the mountains. I lived in Banff in Canada for a while, and I lived in Lake Tahoe in Northern California. And so I don't mind snow. Snow to me is not bad weather. Snow to me is like heaven sent. But dreary, gray, and rainy upsets me. It really gets my mood down. So I'm kind of in this strange coming out of mood into happiness. So I'm really sorry that you're stuck with me today. But I recorded this yesterday, and it was terrible. Because the lighting was terrible, the rain was terrible, my mood was terrible. And I was editing it this morning thinking, I don't want to put this into the world. I'm going to put a different podcast into the world that's full of sunshine. And so now I'm in a weird mood, and I'm sorry. Back to the wool. These are the balls. I only got a mini of the tweed, which I'm glad I did, but I'm also wishing that I got a giant ball. But yeah. So this is the graphite color. Sorry. Yeah, that's a better view of it. And this is the little ball of tweed, who I love. And he is tiny and adorable. But yeah, so those are my dad's socks. They will be for Father's Day on Sunday. And they will be done. Giant bag. The giant bag is currently housing my freshwater shawl, which is a design by Andrea Mowry and Annie Rowden, which I showed you in the last podcast. It has grown substantially since then. To the point where I went shopping. I bought 2 more balls for this project. They're the exact same color, obviously. Slightly different dye lot. This color is called Persia. This is in Malabrigo Sock. And this one has slightly more green in it than the last ball, but I stopped at a point where I can alternate rows, and because it is a striping pattern, I think I'll be able to get away with it. It won't be too obvious. And also, this one is ever so slightly, this is called Arco Iris, and this is ever so slightly brighter than the last skein of this wool that I purchased. But I'm not too worried. Like I said, I did stop anticipating that I was going to have to alternate skeins. So these are my original balls. They're very little. So this project has grown a lot. I also had to purchase a longer cable because the longest cable I had run out of room. I probably could have fit like 15 more stitches on it, but it was very cramped and I wanted a larger cable. So when I was ordering the wool, I ordered 2 larger cables. This one is like the largest I think I can get. It's a 2-meter cable. But I thought I'd put it, even though it's not entirely necessary to have it on a cable this big, I thought to show it off, it would be better to have it on the giant cable. Okay, so last week, it starts, let's go this way, starts here. And last week when you saw it, I was up to here with my, how cute is this little stitch marker? So he is a little swan. I made him. And he's gold. I like gold. Gold and navy. How regal of me. Sorry. Okay, so basically I'm not sure if this is going to show up, but there are the navy blue stripes running down in the first section. Then it swaps to being the multicolored rainbow gorgeousness that is Arco Iris for the next section. Then for the last section, you start to put in these beautiful, see if I can get one to show up, triangles that, using a nifty little trick, you create stripes going in the opposite direction to the rest of the shawl. So they are fiddly, but totally worth it. Now, I probably have enough wool in the existing balls to do maybe ½ an inch more on this pattern, and I only actually need 1.5 inches, if that. But I put in so many hours into this project, and I really, really like it, and I like the way the finished product looks as written. And basically these triangles are meant to come down and continue until they almost meet, and then when you block it they almost flare out, so they create this little scalloped edge, because they are definitely much stretchier than the rest of it's just garter basically. So I was umming and ahhing whether I wanted to essentially double the cost of this project when I am going to use a very small amount of these next skeins. But, and it was interesting, I was watching, Jacqueline, what's her name, what's her podcast name, Brooklyn Knit Folk, and I was watching her last night, and she was talking about commitment to your craft and not getting to the end of the project and rushing it just so you can finish it, and appreciating your time and your resources that you've put into these projects and making them the best that they can be. And I kind of went, okay, it's not just me, like I'm going to feel guilty if I don't finish it properly. I have the balls, so I caked them up, and I will be working on that, I want to say today, but I really need to finish Dad's socks. When I finish Dad's socks, I will get back to this. But I do love it, and it is going to be beautiful and really quite large. I want to block it quite heavily, just to really open up those garter stripes and accentuate the contrast. It's not high contrast, but it's enough that I think it looks really beautiful. So watch this space. It will be hopefully done by the next time I see you. I mean, if it takes me 2 weeks to podcast again, it should definitely be done, because although I did, oh no, before we even leave the project, another reason that has been put down for such a long period of time is because this is the needle that I am using for this project. They're 3.25 millimeter, couldn't tell you in a US size, sorry. Knit Pro carbons, interchangeables. That happened. And while it does stay well enough for me to knit with it, there is now a ridge in here that that my stitches get caught on every time it runs over that. So I'm currently tossing up whether or not I want to buy another pair of these. I have quite a few in this interchangeable set. I also have quite a few fixed circular needles in the carbons range, and I really like them. I like that they have the fast tip. I like that they have the slight amount of drag on the carbon fiber middle bit. I know a lot of people don't like that. I do, especially when I'm working with, you know, slipperier fibers, silk, bamboo, those kinds of things. I like that I can still move quickly with the tip, but there's enough drag that if I tip them, thousands of not thousands, but you know, stitches don't just fall off. So I think I will buy another pair, but I'm quite annoyed. Just because I haven't had them that long. Like I said, I've only been knitting since November of last year, and it's August. So, and these weren't, I reckon I've had these for 6 months. But I'll give them another go. I do like them, like I said, and I understand that faults happen. So I'll give them another chance, but at the moment that's kind of on hold because I'm either going to have to knit being frustrated with the needle or wait for the replacement needles to arrive, because I live in an area where we have craft stores, but they're not specialty knitting stores, and they're not kind of specialty anything stores. They're very broad. So I'd have to drive, I mean, not far. 45 minutes would be the closest store I could probably get that's a specialty knitting store. And even then, it's a very small store. I'm not sure if they stock them. But I know if I drive an hour and a half up the coast, I will be in Sydney. And I can get them very easily. Sydney's a major city. Makes life easier. But I will have to track those down. But yeah. On to another project. Oh yeah, in this bag. Excuse me. Sorry, some tea. It'll fix it. In my blue bag, I have a new cast on since I last saw you. And it is a project from Matter, Anthology 1, with my little duckies trying to escape. How adorable, the little ducks just swimming along the top. So it's a CARRIE BOSTIC Hogue. I think that's how you say her name. I'm sorry if it's not. I don't know why I keep going to put that back over there, but I need it in front of me. So I am doing the SIBELLA pullover, which is this pattern here. Which is beautiful. I'm knitting it in Quince & Co. If you watched the last episode maybe, or the first episode, you know that I have a huge supply of Quince & Co. Chickadee in the Ravelry colorway, because I bought it for a crocheted jumper project, and then hated the pattern, you know, of course after I did all the cabling, yeah, all the complicated stuff, and then I went, no, actually, I really don't like this pattern anymore, so I frogged it, and now I have so much, and it was a long jumper. Like, it had full sleeves, a cowl neck, and it came to, like, most of the way down your butt. Like, it was a long jumper that required a lot of wool. So, I have a lot of this. So I decided, why not? I'll cast on a jumper or pullover. It's knit bottom up. I'm knitting it on 3.25 millimeter higher, not sharps, just regular old higher. So this is the ribbing for the bottom, a couple of garter bumps, and then we're just in the stockinette. I did last night put in some short rows in the back, so I don't know the best way to show this. So if you're looking at it from the front, there is a little, they are even, I know it doesn't look it, but I have put in some short rows. I'm going to put in a few more. I like the look of a jumper that comes down a little at the back. I'm also adding about 1.5 inches to the length of the body, because it currently would sit kind of right at the waistband of my jeans. And I don't like that look on me. It cuts me in a funny place. I always have my tops a little longer. I never wear like tucked in or anything, because I look odd. It's not a body shape that I like, and I know that. So I am messing with this pattern a little bit, not in any way drastically, because this is my first adult garment that I will have made. So I don't want to make too many adjustments and then have this thing that doesn't even resemble what the pattern looked like in the first place, because I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm guesstimating and hoping for the best, basically. Yeah. That's kind of all I have to say about this jumper. It's kind of addictive, and it's all I want to knit on at the moment. But I am trying to be good, and I will focus on Dad's socks. In saying that, last night I did 2.5 inches on this instead of working on Dad's socks while I was watching James Bond. Anyway, back to knitting. Actually, that's all I'm working on for this week, which, you know, it's still quite a number of projects. So hopefully you've enjoyed this episode. Thank you so much. If it's your first episode, let me know what you think. I mean, if it's your third episode, let me know what you think. I did get a lot of feedback, not a lot, but I got some feedback saying that my volume was too low. So I have tried to speak more loudly and clearly in this episode, and I will, when editing it, attempt to make sure that the volume is up. So please let me know if it is better this week. If it's not, I'll think of investing in some kind of microphone or whatnot, but hopefully, I'm not a naturally quiet person. Once I get to know people, I'm just shy at first, and I feel like I'm still getting to know you. So hopefully I will be able to just project my voice a little louder, and it will be clearer and easier for you to hear. But thank you for your feedback. Thank you to anyone who's got in contact with me. It's amazing. I have like 74 subscribers. I'm in shock. 74 people have signed up to be notified when I put a little video out into the world. That is so cool. You guys are amazing. Thank you. And have a great week. Happy crafting. Bye.